Okay, first of all, hello. I am Sinek, and I am a student at Polytechnic of Zagreb, or Tehničko veleučilište u Zagrebu. I'm working as .NET developer in King ICT. I'm here with Ivan Pavić. You heard him this morning. So, Ivan, introduce yourself.
I introduced myself this morning. Really.
Okay. So,
go on.
go on.
Never mind.
Then Ivan will tell you something about new stuff in continuous delivery.
Okay, first of all, what is continuous delivery? The continuous delivery is a process that makes us release software more faster, if we do it right, of course. In the essence, the continuous delivery is continuous integration with automated deployment. As I said, we can deliver software in shorter cycles. One important thing is that we, from the time we build the solution, our solution, the version never changes until it reaches the end environment or the production. And we have to do things in a way that we have to treat every build as a potentially deployable package. If we do things right, we get smaller and more frequent changes. And because the changes are smaller and more frequent, they are more manageable, less risky. We can control the damage we've done to the production environment more easily. It's easier to cope with one problem than to cope with 30 problems or, I don't know, 30 user stories. And after all, it's the salient point of continuous delivery is faster time to market. So the period from the time you get the user story to the time it reaches the market, it should be lot smaller.
Okay. Now some benefits you heard from Ivan, and we will now show some example of branching and differences between branching and continuous delivery. First of all, we have some check-in new feature or something like that. With branching, we need to merge to the, if we have 3 branches, first of all, we need to merge to the QA branch, and after that, deliver to the QA stage. After that, merge to UAT branch and deliver to UAT stage. But if we have bug, we need to fix it on last branch from which we deployed. After that, we need to merge down to the development stage and again up to the QA and deploy again. You can see that in continuous delivery you don't have such process. You just fix bug and deploy it again. After that, you can go all through the production. Is everything okay? So if you have new feature and one more feature in short time, you can get to a situation where you have merge conflicts on one of the branches. That's sometimes a really big problem, because maybe you changed some same files or same lines, and after that you could get completely new version of application which you don't know how will it work. In continuous delivery, pretty much you don't have that. You have clear situation, you know what you did right, and you know what you test. There is no difference between all branches. So because that, you can see upside you have 6th version of application. Down there you have 5. Now we'll say something more about changes in release management in TFS. First of all, there is only one agent now, which is we use him for build and deploy. So he works all jobs. There is no more XML workflows, so you write everything in scripts and you have more control over that. What are you doing? You have Visual Studio Marketplace. That's the place where you can find some really useful scripts which you can use to improve your deployment process, and also you can upload your own scripts which will maybe help someone else. Visual Studio On-Premise and Visual Studio Team Services, you can use them both. Only difference is online versions are updated daily and other ones are updated, I mean...
Quarterly.
Quarterly, yes. There is no rollback, unfortunately. If you want some type of rollback, you need to write a script for that. Or other way is to again deploy version which you had earlier. No more GUI first. As I said, there are only scripts. You write them yourself and that's it. All resources need to be scriptable and under source control. So if something is not under source control, that will not be built and that will not be deployed. Okay. Ivan?
Okay. The agent. Back. Okay. The first thing, the agent pools. Now we have the agent pools, so we can distribute the load of the specific agents more easily. On the other hand, we have something that's called agent capabilities. We define them so that we can fire up the different agent for different environments and under different conditions. That comes to point when it merges with the environments. So we have to match the agent capability environment demand, and that's if the match is made, then this agent will take over the job. If the agent doesn't fill up some demand that the environment has or requires, the agent will not ever trigger itself. The third part of the agent is the way that we are doing transformation. Of course, we have to, when we have multiple stages, like quality assurance, user acceptance, or production environment, for example, in previous versions, we had only one way. We had tokenization and how we tokenize the web config files and other configuration files to achieve this transformation. Now we can do whatever we want. We can create our own command utilities. We can use PowerShell, publish profiles, whatever suits our needs. So the thing is more flexible than it was before. And the other main thing is that there is absolutely no GUI. Just a command line utility, and everything is in scripts. So forget about clicking and so on.
Okay, so now something with working folders. So this is what agent builds. For each build definition, you get one folder with source code. So everything is inside the folder. And one more is staging directory. There's everything what agent built. So there is built version of application. More in working folder is default working directory. That's the version of application which you will deploy, or they that application is called drop artifacts. You can have more of them if you have more projects or something like that.
Okay,
Now,
something about the implementation steps. We have to do this transition. If we have existing project, we have to approach it gradually through the steps. First thing, you have to ensure that you have a stable and good build, that every time you manage to build a solution successfully. Then you have to transform it through, you have to plan the stages you are planning to release to, and plan the transformation. After that, you have to define artifacts. As mentioned earlier, artifacts are exactly the things that you are going to deploy to the target environment. These are called artifacts. After that, we define the workflow, business process or approval process, how, who, and when can accept the deployment to targeted stage. After that, after the successful deployment of the environment, we have to verify it. Write some scripts to do some smoke testing to ensure that thing that we deployed really works, that the web server hasn't crashed, and so on. And after all, the hardest bit, maybe, is to continually improve. We have to engage ourselves to iteratively go through our release pipeline and change it, improve it with every single release or every single iteration. Yes.
okay.
Okay. So, one of the samples we have here is one ticketing solution within our company. It has 45 projects. Six of them are database projects. 2 legacy applications that we don't maintain. They are maintained by other company, and it is used in production. We have a growth of 1 terabyte per year of data. We have SOAP web services, we have MVC applications, we have FAT client applications, 3 console applications for the maintenance jobs nightly. And after all, it's all in one build and 2 release pipeline. And we are releasing this solution every 2 or 3 days, I don't know. We deploy a new version.
Okay, we have another example that is finance and reporting solution. It's total of 52 projects. Of them is 5 database projects, 1 on SQL Server 2008 and 4 on 2012. There are 3 Windows services, 5 web services, 7 web applications. We do all of the jobs with 2 builds and 1 release pipeline. Okay. Now we can see some settings. Here we can see some scripts, command lines, copying of the files, builds, NuGet installer. That's all included in build of all projects and applications. Next, we have some variables. You can see here build configuration. We can choose which configuration we want. Maybe we have some custom configurations, so we can choose them. Next, we have some general settings. There are demands mentioned earlier. We have some custom demands. We need agent who can deploy on development environment. That's special demand and every agent needs it. Then release environments. Again, we can see some scripts for deploying databases, some scripts for tokenization, and those we are used to deploy something on server. You can see 3 environments, quality assurance, user acceptance test, and production. Next, we have some environment variables, which we used in tokenization too, and it's actually all of them are custom. You can use them, you don't need to use them, it's on you. And main challenges.
Now, from our experience, the biggest problem with legacy projects was building the database. Databases are often used as integration points, so you have one database that references another database, and that database that references the first database back. When you try to build that kind of references, it throws you an exception. It cannot, because it depends on one each other. So resolving this took most of our efforts to build a stable release pipeline, the build of the databases. Web projects and other project types which don't contain data are much more simpler to configure, to build, and to automate everything. The second challenge is the business process. You have to change the business process. You have to agree with it with the customer. You cannot just say, I'm going to do continuous delivery. If the business process and the delivery process agreed within a contract with the customer doesn't comply to that, you can't do continuous delivery. Because, for example, if you do a continuous delivery and you have a long waiting between you put something in the user acceptance test and you have to wait for 2 or 3 weeks to get to customer to approve it, then you have a large queue. As you saw earlier on this graph, continuous delivery works like the production line, exactly like the production line. If the production line stops, everything is queued and you have a big queue and big problem. Everything stops. You even can't do development anymore. Third thing, it's less challenging, but you have to set up the environment, you have to worry about permissions, how do you going to deploy, are you going to deploy it locally? I mean, install agents on the target environments and deploy it locally, or use remote access to the target environments and deploy it there. And the fourth part is like on that sixth step in the process of implementation is maintenance. It costs. When you deploy it first time, yes, great, but then changes occur, you apply new user stories and everything, and you have to change the release pipeline. That is one more thing you have to maintain after all. So you have to calculate it in advance as some kind of challenge and effort.
Okay, and if anyone have any questions, we will try to answer it.
I have a question about version.
Versioning.
Okay.
Where is the place for
Versioning is, if you could please roll back the version. The first step, as you saw these tasks, the first step here, forward. The steps.
Sam preskoči?
Yes. Back. Yes. You and your animations. Yes, stop. Back. Yes, here. Always the first step is to apply version to a folder. Of course, you usually do it even before you build the solution. Building is as you see here, the third and the fourth step of it. You have a little PowerShell script. You apply it to all the source code that is downloaded to this S folder of sources folder, and on each build, it changes the version of the entire solution of everything that you are trying to build. So you have each time you have unique solution. You can format it as you wish during the version auto-incremental. We usually use date time, and within a day, if we have more builds within a day, we auto-increment that part of the. So we know exactly which version ended up on which environment and in what time.